99% of marketing leaders in the United States believe brand consistency is critical to growth. And yet, a staggering 77% of them say their own companies have a major problem with it. Think about that. The vast majority of leaders know exactly what they need to do, but they just can't get their teams to do it. Let me tell you a story you probably know all too well. It's 9 a.m. on a Monday. You're the marketing director at a fast-growing American company. You grab your coffee, you open your laptop, and your day immediately implodes. First, an email from your sales leader in Chicago. He's attached the new pitch deck his team is using. Your heart sinks. They've stretched the company logo to fit the slide. The title font is something you've never seen before. And they've pulled a low-resolution photo of a bald eagle from a Google image search. It looks cheap. Before you can even type a reply, a notification pops up from LinkedIn. Your San Diego office just posted a job opening. The graphic they used has the wrong shade of blue, the one you phased out 2 years ago. It's a minor detail to them, but to you, it's a glaring mistake that screams disorganization. Then comes the final blow. Your new marketing intern, bless his heart, proudly slacks you a link to the new digital ad campaign he's drafted for the Texas market. He took the initiative. The problem? He rewrote the company tagline. This isn't just a bad morning. This is a brand crisis happening in slow motion, every single day, across dozens of teams and hundreds of employees. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. Each off-brand pitch deck, each rogue social media post, each outdated sales slick erodes the one thing you've spent millions of dollars and countless hours trying to build. A strong, recognizable, and trusted brand. The hidden costs are terrifying. It's the time your highly paid design team wastes fixing sloppy PowerPoint presentations instead of working on the next big campaign. It's the deals you lose because your materials look less professional than your competitors. It's the confusion in the market that leads to a 23% average revenue loss directly attributable to brand inconsistency. In the hyper-competitive American market, your brand isn't just a logo, it's your armor. And right now it's full of holes. For years we've tried to solve this problem with the wrong tools. We created 100-page brand guideline PDFs that nobody ever reads. We tried to force every single request through a bottlenecked, overworked creative department, slowing everything down to a crawl. We invested in complex, legacy design software that requires a PhD to operate, effectively locking out 95% of our employees from creating anything at all. We told our teams, stay on brand, but we never gave them a foolproof way to actually do it. What if you could change all of that? What if you could flip a switch and give every employee, from sales and HR to product and partnerships, the power to create beautiful, perfectly on-brand content instantly? What if you could build a system where it's actually harder for them to go off-brand than it is to stay on-brand? This isn't a fantasy. This is exactly what Canva Enterprise is built for. And over the course of this video, I'm going to show you precisely why this platform is rapidly becoming the central nervous system for America's most innovative marketing teams. We're not just talking about a better way to make social media graphics. We are talking about a fundamental shift in how you manage your brand at scale. We're going to break down how you can reclaim thousands of hours of lost productivity, eliminate brand chaos for good, and empower your teams to move faster than ever before, all while maintaining absolute control over your brand's identity. So let's get right into it. The first and most important step to fixing brand chaos is creating a single source of truth, a digital home for your brand that everyone in the company can access. In Canva, this is called the Brand Kit, and it's so much more than just a folder with your logos in it. Your Brand Kit is your fortress. First, you upload every approved version of your logo, full color, black, white, and any specific sub-brand logos. Once they're in the Brand Kit, nobody can upload a different version. The old pixelated JPEG file that your sales rep has saved on his desktop? It's irrelevant now. When he goes to create a presentation, the only logos he can even see are the approved ones. Problem 1 solved. Next, your colors. You input the exact hex codes for your primary and secondary color palettes. You can name them primary blue, accent orange, neutral gray. Now, when an employee is designing a document, they don't see an infinite color wheel. They see your company's 5, 10, or 15 approved colors, right at the top of the selection panel. It becomes an effortless one-click choice to use the right shade of blue every single time. It's a simple feature, but it's revolutionary in its impact. You've just made it impossible for someone to accidentally pick the wrong color. Then comes the real game changer: fonts. You upload your official brand fonts, your headline font, your body copy font, your accent font. You can even set default sizing and styles. This is how you end the fontpocalypse. No more Arial when it should be Helvetica. No more Times New Roman on a social post. The system defaults to the correct typography, guiding your team to make the right choice without them even thinking about it. The brand kit centralizes everything: logos, colors, fonts, and even other key brand elements like icons, photos, or graphic elements that define your visual identity. It's your brand's DNA, codified in the cloud. But here's the most powerful part. This brand kit is automatically applied to every single template you create. Which brings us to the second pillar of brand control: template locking. This is the feature that should make every marketing director sleep better at night. Let's go back to that sales pitch deck from our story. The problem wasn't that the sales team wanted to make a deck. The problem was they had too much freedom and not enough guidance. Template locking solves this forever. As a designer or brand manager, you can create the perfect pitch deck template. It has the correct logo placement, the right fonts, the approved color scheme, and the legally required disclaimer on the final slide. Then you can lock it down. And I mean really lock it down. You can lock the position of the logo so it can't be moved, resized, or stretched. You can lock the font of the legal disclaimer so it can't be edited or deleted. You can lock the background color, the position of key graphic elements, anything you want to remain consistent. But here's the magic. You can leave other elements unlocked. You can leave the main text box open so the salesperson can enter their client-specific information. You can leave a photo placeholder unlocked so they can drag and drop an approved image of their specific product. You are giving them controlled creativity. You're giving them the freedom to customize the parts that need to be customized, while making it physically impossible for them to break the parts that define your brand. Think of the applications. A one-sheet for a new product where the product team can update the specs, but can't change the layout. A social media graphic for a local event where the regional manager can change the date and city, but can't change the core design. A job posting graphic where HR can edit the job title and description, but the overall branding remains pristine. This is empowerment within guardrails. You're no longer the brand police, chasing down violations and correcting mistakes. You're the brand architect building a system that makes compliance automatic. You're taking the guesswork and the human error out of the equation. You're transforming your role from a reactive bottleneck into a proactive enabler. By setting up a robust brand kit and using template locking, you've just solved about 80% of the brand consistency problems that plague most American companies. You've created a scalable system for content creation that protects your brand and empowers your people at the same time. But that empowerment creates a new, more dangerous problem. It's a problem that lives in the shadows of every marketing department in America. I call it digital asset anarchy. See, you've given your team a beautiful brand-approved template. That's the guardrail. But what are they putting inside that template? Where are they getting the photos, the logos, the icons? If you've ever worked in marketing, you know the answer. It's chaos. It's a frantic scramble through a digital wasteland of forgotten folders and cryptic file names. Let's picture this. Your sales team in Chicago needs a one-pager for a huge upcoming client meeting. They have the locked template you created. Fantastic. Step 1 is complete. But now they need the official headshot of the regional VP, the latest product shot from the Q3 launch, and the company's official partner program logo. The clock is ticking. So, the sales rep, let's call him Dave, slacks the marketing channel. Hey, anyone have the latest product shots? 10 minutes later, someone replies with a link to a Dropbox folder from last year. Someone else emails Dave a low-resolution headshot they pulled from the company's About Us page on the website. A third person says the real approved assets are on the shared drive, in a folder called Final Understress under 2023 Understress. Inside that folder is another folder called Actually Understress 32. This isn't an exaggeration. This is the daily reality for thousands of American businesses. Dave, under pressure, grabs the first things he can find. The result? The one-pager that lands in front of that multi-million-dollar client has an old product photo, a blurry headshot, and a logo that was retired 6 months ago. The brand integrity you worked so hard to protect with template locking is completely shattered. This is the second wall that every scaling company hits. And this is where Canva Enterprise doesn't just offer a feature. It offers a sanctuary. It's called the Brand Kit, and it's so much more than a color palette. The Brand Kit is your company's single source of truth for every single creative asset you own. Think of it as a fortified, perfectly organized vault that everyone on your team has a key to, but they can only access what they're supposed to. Let's start with the basics. Your logos. Inside the brand kit, you don't just upload one logo. You upload all of them. Your primary full-color logo, your whiteout version for dark backgrounds, your simplified icon for social media profiles. You label each one clearly. Now, when Dave in Chicago is in that template, he doesn't go hunting. He clicks on the Logos tab in the Canva editor, and every approved version is sitting right there. He can't upload a grainy one he found on Google Images. He can't stretch or distort the one you've provided. He just clicks and the perfect high-resolution logo pops right into the design, exactly where it's supposed to be. Next, fonts and colors. You upload your company's specific fonts. Whether it's a custom licensed typeface or a specific Google font, those become the only fonts your team can choose from within your brand templates. No more bizarre outbreaks of papyrus on a sales deck. The same goes for colors. You define your primary and secondary color palettes by their exact hex codes. That specific shade of corporate blue is now the only blue available. Your team can't accidentally select a slightly off, amateur-looking shade. You've just enforced visual consistency across the entire organization with a few clicks. But here's where it becomes a complete game changer, solving Dave's entire problem. Photos, graphics, and icons. Within the brand kit, you can create a folder structure that mirrors your business needs. Imagine folders like Approved Product Shots Q3 Launch, Official Executive Headshots, Office B-Roll New York, Certified Partner Logos. You, the brand manager, curate these folders. You work with your photographer to get the absolute best, highest resolution, fully licensed images, and you place them in this central vault. Now your team doesn't need to ask. They don't need to search. They don't need to guess. They open a template, go to the Photos section, and see these neatly organized folders. They need a product shot? They open the folder and drag and drop the correct one. The system works. It's fast, it's intuitive, and it's completely foolproof. You've transformed digital asset anarchy into a state of perfect, accessible order. This isn't just about making things look pretty. This is about mitigating risk. Using unlicensed photos is a legal minefield that can cost companies hundreds of thousands of dollars. By creating a curated library of approved, rights-cleared images, you're not just being a good brand manager. You're being a guardian of the company's financial health. You're also reclaiming hundreds, if not thousands, of lost productivity hours across the company. The time your team spends hunting for assets is time they're not spending selling, marketing, or innovating. The brand kit gives them that time back. But let's be honest. Even with locked templates and a perfect brand kit, the creative process is still a human process. It requires feedback, iteration, and most importantly, approval. And this is the third silent killer of productivity in most organizations: the approval workflow, or rather, the lack of one. What happens right now? A designer creates something. They export a PDF. They email it to their manager. The manager is busy, so they don't see it for a few hours. When they do, they reply to the email with a bulleted list of changes. Make the logo bigger. Change the headline to this. I don't like that photo. The designer makes the changes, exports a new PDF named V2, and emails it back. But wait, now the head of marketing needs to see it. So the manager forwards the email. The head of marketing prints the PDF, scribbles notes on it with a pen, takes a photo of it with their phone, and texts it back. Meanwhile, someone from the legal team slacks a completely different piece of feedback directly to the designer. Within a day, you have feedback scattered across 3 different platforms: email, text, and Slack. You have multiple file versions floating around. No one is sure which feedback is the most current or who has the final say. It's an administrative nightmare that breeds frustration, slows down projects, and leads to costly mistakes. Canva Enterprise eradicates this entire mess with one elegant solution: built-in approval workflows. Here's how it works. Your designer finishes their work inside Canva. They don't export anything. Instead, they click the Share button and select Request Approval. They can then choose the designated approver, their manager, the department head, a project manager. That person instantly gets a notification. They click the link and are taken directly to the design inside Canva. They can see the work in its native environment. And here's the magic. They can leave comments pinned to specific elements on the page. They can highlight the headline and type, "Let's rephrase this to be more action-oriented." They can click on an image and comment, "Can we try the other photo from the approved brand kit?" All the feedback is centralized, contextual, and tied directly to the design itself. Once they're done leaving feedback, they have two options: request changes or approve. If they request changes, the designer gets a notification and can see all the pinned comments. They make the edits right there on the same file. There are no new versions. It's just one file, evolving based on clear, documented feedback. Once the changes are made, they can send it back for a final look. When the approver is happy, they click that beautiful green Approve button. The design is now officially locked and ready to be published or shared. This creates an unbreakable audit trail. You have a permanent record of who requested what changes and who gave the final sign-off. There is zero ambiguity. This simple workflow collapses a chaotic, multi-day process of emails and attachments into a streamlined, transparent review cycle that can often be completed in a matter of hours. You're moving faster with more clarity and less friction. You've taken the three core pillars of content creation, the templates, the assets, and the approvals, and integrated them into a single seamless system. You've built a content engine, but now how do you pour fuel on it? How do you take this perfectly tuned engine and scale its output across dozens of campaigns, regions, and departments without everything flying apart? That's the next level. And that next level is where most marketing departments hit a brick wall. It's a wall built from brand inconsistency, workflow chaos, and creative bottlenecks. Imagine this. You're the CMO of a growing American company. Your New York headquarters has a killer design team. They've defined the brand, they've created the guidelines, they've produced award-winning campaigns. But your sales team in Dallas? They're still using a PowerPoint template from 3 years ago with an old logo. Your new social media manager in Chicago, eager to make an impact, is whipping up graphics on her phone, using fonts that are creatively off-brand. And the regional marketing lead in Los Angeles just spent $1,000 on a freelance designer for a simple event flyer because he couldn't get a response from the overloaded central design team in time. This isn't a hypothetical. This is the daily reality for thousands of companies. It's brand fragmentation in real time. Every rogue asset, every outdated logo, every off-brand color choice chips away at the foundation of your brand identity. The very engine you so carefully built is now sputtering. Its power diluted across a dozen different uncoordinated efforts. The cost isn't just aesthetic. It's a direct hit to brand recognition, customer trust, and ultimately, your bottom line. You're losing control. The brand Bible, that 100-page PDF that marketing so painstakingly created, is gathering digital dust in a forgotten folder. Nobody reads it. And even if they did, they don't have the tools or the time to implement its rules perfectly every single time. So, what's the traditional solution? You either lock everything down, forcing every single request through a bottleneck central design team, which slows your entire organization to a crawl, or you invest in hypercomplex, legacy design software that costs a fortune and requires a PhD to operate, effectively shutting out 95% of your employees from creating anything. It's a classic catch-22. You can have control or you can have speed. You can have brand integrity or you can have employee empowerment. You can't have both. Until now. This is precisely the chasm that Canva Enterprise was built to bridge. It's not just about making design easier. It's about making on-brand design at scale the default, the path of least resistance for your entire organization. It's about turning brand guidelines from a static document into a living, breathing, interactive system embedded into the creative process itself. Let's start with the absolute foundation, the brand kit. Think of this as your company's digital DNA, the single source of truth for your brand's identity. Within Canva Enterprise, you don't just upload your logos. You create a definitive, lockdown library. No more stretching, no more distorted versions, no more employees grabbing a low-res JPG from a Google image search. You define your exact brand colors, your primary and secondary palettes, and lock them in. Employees creating a new design won't see a paralyzing rainbow of a million color choices. They'll see your colors front and center. The same goes for fonts. You upload your specific brand fonts, your Gotham, your Proxima Nova, your Montserrat, and make them the default. This one feature alone eradicates countless hours of wasted time and eliminates the most common brand mistakes before they even happen. The brand kit is your constitution. It establishes the rules of your visual universe. But a constitution is useless if no one knows how to apply the laws. That's where the second pillar comes in: brand templates. This is where the magic of scaling truly ignites. Your core design team, the experts, can now do what they do best: Create stunning, strategically sound templates for everything your company needs. Social media posts, sales presentations, one-pagers, email headers, video assets, internal reports, you name it. They build the perfect blueprint. But here's the game changer. They can lock specific elements. Think about that. The logo is locked in place. The legal disclaimer at the bottom of the ad is locked. The core headline font and color are locked. What's left unlocked? The parts you want your team to customize. The main image, the body copy, the call to action. You are giving your team structured freedom. You're handing the sales rep in Dallas a perfectly designed presentation template. He can't mess up the logo or the color palette, but he can drop in a photo of his client's building and customize the text for his meeting tomorrow. You're giving the social media manager in Chicago a set of gorgeous, pre-approved Instagram story templates. She can't go rogue with fonts, but she can react to a trending topic in minutes, creating a timely, relevant, and perfectly on-brand post. This isn't about restricting creativity. It's about channeling it. It's about empowering your entire organization to become brand advocates, not brand liabilities. You're taking the genius of your best designers and scaling it infinitely across every department. You're transforming your central design team from a production bottleneck into a strategic enabler, a team that builds the systems and templates that allow the rest of the company to move faster. Now you have a central brand kit and a library of locked brand templates. You've solved brand consistency. You've empowered your team. But what about the workflow? What about the chaos of feedback and approvals? The endless email chains with attachments titled Sales _7 final EX. This is the third pillar of scaling with Canva Enterprise. Streamlined workflows and approvals. Instead of emailing drafts back and forth, your team collaborates directly within the Canva editor. A team member can create a design from a brand template and then with a single click, share it with their manager for approval. The manager gets a notification, opens the design, and can leave comments pinned to specific elements. Can we change this headline? Let's use a different photo here. Legal needs to check this statistic. It's all happening in one place in real time. The feedback is contextual, clear, and tracked. Once the changes are made, the manager can hit approve, and the design is locked and ready to go. This simple, integrated process shatters the old, clunky workflow. It collapses a multi-day, multi-email approval process into a matter of hours, or even minutes. It creates an automatic audit trail, so you can see who requested changes and who gave the final sign-off. And when you combine this with the content planner, you can design, approve, and schedule your social media content to publish directly to your channels, all from within the same platform. What we're describing is a fundamental shift in how marketing teams operate. It's a move from chaos to cohesion, from fragmentation to integration, from being a bottleneck to becoming an engine of growth. By establishing a brand kit as your single source of truth, leveraging locked brand templates to empower your teams with guardrails, and streamlining your entire creation to publication process with integrated workflows, you're not just making things prettier or a little bit faster. You are building a scalable content ecosystem. You're installing a new operating system for your entire marketing department, one built for speed, consistency, and control. This is how you take that finely tuned engine and put a supercharger on it, ensuring that every single piece of content from every employee in every office is working in perfect harmony to drive your brand forward. But what happens when you have thousands of these assets? How do you manage, find, and distribute this massive library of content you've just unlocked? How do you ensure the sales team in Texas finds the case study for their industry, and not the one for tech startups in Silicon Valley? The answer lies in shifting your mindset. You're not just creating assets anymore. You're building a brand ecosystem. And the heart of that ecosystem, the central nervous system that connects every team member in every office from sea to shining sea, is Canva's Brand Hub. This isn't just a feature. It's the command center for your entire visual identity. It's the single source of truth that ends the arguments, the frantic Slack messages, and the brand-damaging mistakes forever. Let's break this down. The first layer of defense, the foundation of this entire system, is the brand kit. Now you might think, oh yeah, we have a brand kit. It's a PDF somewhere on a server. No, that's a relic. That's a museum piece. In Canva Enterprise, the brand kit is a living, breathing, enforced part of the creative process. Your official logos? They're right there, locked and loaded. No one can upload a pixelated JPEG they pulled from a Google search. Your official brand colors, the exact hex codes approved by the C-suite? They're the default palette. An employee can't just decide, "This blue feels a little better." The approved blues are the only blues available. Think about your fonts. How many times have you seen a presentation from a regional office using Comic Sans or some other unapproved, off-brand font because it was the default on their machine? The brand kit puts an end to that. You upload your licensed brand fonts, and those become the primary options for every single person in the organization. This isn't about stifling creativity. It's about channeling it. It's about ensuring that the first impression a customer in Chicago has of your brand is visually identical to the impression a customer in Miami has. It's brand integrity automated, but it goes deeper. You can upload brand-approved photography, a library of curated images that reflect your company's values and aesthetic. So when a social media manager needs a photo for an Instagram post, they aren't scrolling through cheesy, generic stock photo sites. They're pulling from a pre-approved, on-brand gallery that strengthens your visual identity with every single post. You can add icons, graphics, even brand voice guidelines. You can literally write out the tone of voice. Are you professional and authoritative, or playful and witty? And have it accessible right inside the editor. The brand kit becomes the DNA of your company's communication, embedded directly into the tool everyone is using. Now let's talk about the real game changer, the feature that solves the problem for that sales team in Texas: brand templates. Imagine your top-tier design team, your creative wizards, spending their valuable time crafting the perfect case study template. It's a work of art. The logo placement is perfect, the fonts are crisp, the data visualization is clear, and the legal disclaimer at the bottom is exactly what your compliance department signed off on. In the old world, they'd save this as a PDF and maybe an InDesign file. Then, the sales rep in Texas needs to customize it for a huge potential client in the oil and gas industry. What does he do? He can't edit the PDF. He doesn't have InDesign. So he tries to copy-paste screenshots into a Word doc. It looks terrible. The formatting breaks. He gets frustrated, the brand looks amateurish, and a multi-million-dollar opportunity is jeopardized by a poorly designed document. With Canva Enterprise's brand templates, that entire nightmare scenario vanishes. Your design team creates that perfect case study, but this time they lock the crucial elements. The logo? Locked. The legal disclaimer? Locked. The color palette and fonts? Locked by the brand kit. But they can leave specific text boxes completely editable. The client's name, the key statistics, the executive summary. All of it can be designated as a customizable field. Now that sales rep in Texas logs into Canva. He doesn't need any design skills. He sees the case study energy sector template. He clicks it. He can't accidentally drag the logo to the wrong spot. He can't change the font to something unprofessional. All he can do is type in the new client's name and update the 3 key data points. In less than 5 minutes, he has a perfectly on-brand, professionally designed, legally compliant case study tailored specifically for his client. He exports it as a high-quality PDF and sends it off. This isn't just a convenience. It's a sales velocity engine. It's empowering your non-designer workforce to be brand ambassadors, all while maintaining absolute control at the core. You're democratizing design, not creating brand anarchy. This concept of empowerment within guardrails extends to everything: social media posts, sales decks, one-pagers, internal announcements, event banners. Your central marketing team can create a suite of lockdown templates for every conceivable need. The team in the Pacific Northwest needs a flyer for a local trade show? There's a template for that. The HR department in New York needs to create a graphic for the new hire announcement? There's a template for that. The speed and efficiency gains are staggering. You eliminate the design bottleneck. You eliminate rogue, off-brand content. You multiply the effectiveness of your best design work by making it safely accessible to everyone. And this brings us back to the question of managing this massive library. How do you find anything? This is where Canva Enterprise starts to function less like a design tool and more like a sophisticated digital asset management system, or DAM. You aren't just tossing files into a shared drive and hoping for the best. You're building an intelligent, searchable content library. Every asset, every template, every photo can be organized into clean, logical folders and subfolders. You can structure it by department: sales, marketing, HR. You can structure it by region: Northeast, South, West Coast. You can structure it by campaign: Q4 holiday push, summer product launch. But the real power comes from metadata and tagging. That case study for the Texas sales team? It can be tagged with case study, sales, Texas, energy sector, and Q3 2024. So 6 months from now, a new sales rep in Houston doesn't have to ask anyone where to find it. He just goes to the search bar in Canva and types energy case study. And boom, there it is. He can filter by content type, by date, by creator. This simple search functionality saves hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of wasted productivity across a large organization. It ends the cycle of constantly recreating assets because the original couldn't be found. The content your team spends so much time and money creating is no longer lost in a digital graveyard. It's a living library, instantly accessible and ready for deployment. And for the executives, the CMOs, the people who worry about risk and compliance, there are brand controls. This is where Canva Enterprise truly separates itself from any pro-level tool. You can implement approval workflows. A junior marketing coordinator can design a social media post, but it can't be downloaded or published until their manager clicks approve. This prevents embarrassing typos or off-message content from ever seeing the light of day. You can set permissions with surgical precision. Maybe the sales team can only see and use templates in the sales collateral folder. Maybe interns can only create designs but can't see the full asset library. You can even control what people can upload, preventing non-approved images or logos from ever entering your pristine brand ecosystem. This is total control. It's the peace of mind that comes from knowing that your brand, your company's most valuable asset, is being protected at every single touchpoint, by every single employee, every single day. So you see, the solution to managing thousands of assets isn't just about more folders or better naming conventions. It's about building an intelligent system with the fortified core, the brand hub, that radiates consistency outwards through locked templates and granular controls, all while making it easier and faster for your teams across the country to do their best work. So now you have it. A digital Fort Knox of brand consistency. Your logos are safe. Your colors are controlled. Your teams are empowered, but within safe, productive guardrails. You have a searchable, organized, and efficient library of every asset your company has ever produced. But a fortress is useless if you can't get your troops, your content, out to the battlefield. How do you move from simply storing content to strategically deploying it across every channel every single day without burning out your team? How do you plan, schedule, and automate a high-volume content calendar that actually drives results? The answer lies in shifting your perspective. The challenge isn't about having more hands, more hours, or more tools. It's about having one single source of truth, a command center. And that command center is already built directly into the Canva Enterprise platform. It's called the Content Planner, and for marketing teams across America, this isn't just a feature. It's a revolution in workflow. Let's break this down. For years, the standard marketing playbook looks something like this. The design team creates a brilliant graphic in one tool. They export it. They upload it to a shared drive. The social media manager downloads it. They log into Facebook, upload it, and write a caption. Then they log out, log into Instagram, re-upload it, and write a slightly different caption. Then LinkedIn, then X, then Pinterest. Each step is a potential point of failure. The wrong file gets used. The caption has a typo. A post is missed entirely during the chaotic Monday morning scramble. It's the digital equivalent of spinning plates, and someone is always exhausted, and something is always about to drop. Canva's Content Planner doesn't just help you spin the plates. It fuses them into one unbreakable platter. Imagine a single beautiful calendar view. On this calendar, you don't just see deadlines. You see the actual final creative, exactly as it will appear on each platform. You see your Instagram post for Tuesday at 9 a.m., your LinkedIn article for Wednesday afternoon, and your Facebook story for Friday's product drop, all laid out visually. This isn't a spreadsheet of ideas. It's a living, breathing preview of your entire content strategy. And here's where the magic clicks into place. You've just put the finishing touches on a stunning design for your company's summer sale. It's approved, it's on brand, and it's ready to go. Instead of hitting download, you click share. But one of the options is schedule. You click it. A calendar pops up. You select next Thursday at 10:30 a.m. You choose your channels. Let's say Instagram and Facebook. And then you write your caption right there inside Canva. You hit schedule. And you're done. Think about what just happened. There was no downloading, no re-uploading, no switching between 5 different browser tabs, no risk of grabbing the V2 version of a file instead of the final, I swear. You went from final design to a fully scheduled multi-platform post in less than 30 seconds. Now, multiply that time saving by the 2050, or even 100 pieces of content your team pushes out every single week. We're not talking about saving minutes, we're talking about saving days. We're talking about reclaiming hundreds of hours of productivity per quarter that can be reinvested into what actually matters: strategy, creativity, and big ideas. But let's be honest, the bottleneck isn't always the scheduling. It's the copy. Staring at a blank caption box is a unique form of creative torture. This is where Canva's integrated AI, Magic Write, becomes your co-pilot. Right there in the scheduler, you can type a simple prompt. Write an exciting caption for our new eco-friendly coffee cup, highlighting its leak-proof lid and the fact that it's made in the USA. Use a friendly, upbeat tone with 2 relevant hashtags. 30 seconds later, you have 5 different options. You can pick the best one, tweak it slightly, and schedule it. That's the power of a truly integrated system. The AI understands the context of your design and your brand voice, turning writer's block into a multiple-choice question. This single feature eliminates the endless back and forth, the creative fatigue, and the last-minute panic that comes with writing dozens of unique captions every week. This integration is the key to unlocking high-volume content deployment. Let's go back to that summer sale design. It's a perfect square for an Instagram post. But you also need a vertical version for stories, a wide banner for a LinkedIn article, and a long pin for Pinterest. In the old world, that's 4 separate design projects. In Canva Enterprise, you use Magic Resize. With one click, Canva instantly reformats your original design into the perfect dimensions for every other platform. The elements are intelligently rearranged. Now, from the content planner, you can schedule all 4 versions to their respective platforms, each with a slightly tailored caption, all in a single fluid workflow that takes maybe 5 minutes. You've just turned one asset into 4, multiplying your brand's visibility without quadrupling the workload. This is how you dominate every channel. This is how you stay top of mind with your audience. It's not about working harder. It's about making your content work harder for you. For a marketing director or a CMO, the content planner provides something invaluable: oversight. You can see the entire month's content plan in one place. You can filter by campaign, by social channel, or by status, draft, and review scheduled. You can spot gaps in your content. Hey, I see we don't have anything going out on LinkedIn next Tuesday. Let's fill that. You can ensure a consistent and balanced mix of content, promotional, educational, behind the scenes. It transforms your content calendar from a chaotic to-do list into a powerful strategic weapon. And because it's all within the Canva ecosystem, the approval workflows we talked about earlier are seamlessly integrated. A junior designer can create and schedule a post, but it won't go live until their manager clicks approve, right there on the calendar event. This is brand safety and quality control automated. It's the perfect balance of empowering your team to execute while maintaining strategic control. So let's put it all together. You're moving from a fragmented, chaotic process of downloading, uploading, and context switching to a single unified command center. A place where you can plan your campaigns visually, design the assets, use AI to write the copy, resize the creative for every channel, and schedule it to go live, all without ever leaving one browser tab. This is how you move from simply storing content to strategically deploying it. This is how you build a high-volume content engine that doesn't just post for the sake of posting, but posts with purpose, precision, and incredible efficiency. You're not just saving time. You're buying back brainpower for your team to focus on the next big campaign that will truly move the needle for your business. But scheduling is only half the battle. Once the content is out there, echoing across the digital landscape, the real questions begin. How do you know what's actually working? How do you separate the vanity metrics of likes and shares from the hard data that drives real revenue? And how do you use that data to make your next campaign smarter, sharper, and even more successful, all without adding yet another analytics tool to your stack? The answer lies in shifting your perspective. For decades, the creative department was seen as a cost center, a magical black box where budget went in and beautiful, yet unquantifiable, assets came out, proving the direct ROI of a specific shade of blue or a particular font choice was next to impossible. But Canva Enterprise fundamentally changes this dynamic by building a powerful analytics and insights engine directly into the creative workflow. This isn't a bolt-on feature. It's the central nervous system of your entire content strategy, transforming your design platform into a data-driven command center. Imagine your CMO, let's call her Maria, preparing for her quarterly business review. In the past, she'd present a slide with impressive but soft numbers. We increased our social media engagement by 20%. The CFO would nod politely and then ask the killer question. Great, but how did that translate to revenue? How many of those likes bought a product? That's the moment every marketing leader dreads. Now let's replay that scenario with Canva Enterprise. Maria pulls up a dashboard directly within Canva. She doesn't have to export data, wrangle spreadsheets, or stitch together reports from 3 different platforms. It's all right there. She can say, "We launched Campaign Alpha last quarter. Our design team created 50 unique assets for it. Here's the dashboard." We can see that the video assets for Instagram Reels had a 45% higher click-through rate to our landing page than the static image ads. Specifically, this 10-second template, created by our designer Alex, is our top performer. We can also see that assets shared via a Canva presentation link generated 300 qualified leads, which our sales team has already engaged. We know this because the analytics are tied directly to the assets themselves. Suddenly, the conversation is completely different. It's not about feelings or aesthetics, it's about performance. Canva Enterprise provides this clarity through a multi-layered approach to analytics. First, there's content performance. Every single design created, from a social media post to a sales proposal, can be a data point. When you share a design using a Canva link, you're not just sending a file, you're deploying a trackable microasset. You can see how many people viewed it, where in the world they viewed it from, and how they engaged with it. Did they click the links inside your presentation? Did they watch your embedded video to the end? This is gold. Let's say your team creates a new digital brochure for a product launch. You share it with your sales team. They, in turn, share the link with their prospects. With traditional methods, that's where the trail goes cold. With Canva, your marketing team can see that the brochure has been viewed 5,000 times, that the most clicked link is the one on page 3 leading to the pricing sheet, and that viewers spend an average of 45 seconds on the case study page. What does this tell you? It tells you your case study is compelling and that prospects are highly interested in pricing. For your next brochure, you might lead with a case study and make the pricing link even more prominent. You're no longer guessing. You're iterating based on real user behavior. The second layer is team usage and adoption. Investing in an enterprise-level tool is a significant financial decision. You need to know if it's being used effectively. The Canva Enterprise dashboard gives you a bird's-eye view of your entire organization's creative output. You can see which teams are creating the most designs, which templates are the most popular, and who your power users are. This isn't about micromanaging. It's about identifying opportunities. If you see that your sales team in the Midwest is consistently using a specific sales deck template that's getting great engagement, you can make that the official template for the entire national sales force. If you notice one department isn't using the platform much, it might not be a sign of resistance. It could be a sign they need more targeted training on the features that will help them most. This data allows you to maximize your investment, ensuring every single user is empowered to create on-brand, effective content. It helps you build a culture of creativity by identifying and celebrating your internal design champions. But the final and most crucial layer is where Canva Enterprise truly sets itself apart, connecting design to tangible business outcomes. This is the holy grail. It's about closing the loop between a creative decision and a business result. Let's go back to our campaign. Your team is running A/B tests on a series of ads for a new software feature. Version A uses a photograph of a person at a laptop. Version B uses a clean, animated graphic explaining the feature. Both are created in minutes using Canva templates. You run them both on LinkedIn. Through Canva's integration capabilities with major ad platforms and analytics suites, you can pull performance data right back into your Canva dashboard. You don't just see which one got more likes. You see which one drove more signups. You discover that version B, the animated graphic, had a 30% lower cost per acquisition. That is a multi-million-dollar insight, discovered not in a complex analytics tool, but right inside the platform where the ad was born. This data-driven feedback loop is revolutionary. It empowers your designers. Their work is no longer judged subjectively. They can now definitively say, I chose this layout and this call to action button because the data from our last 3 campaigns showed this format converts 18% better with our target demographic. They become strategic partners in the business, armed with data to defend their creative choices. It also de-risks innovation. Want to try a bold new visual style? Go for it. Create a dozen assets, test them on a small scale, and let the real-world performance data tell you if it's a winning strategy before you invest the entire quarter's budget behind it. You can fail faster, learn quicker, and scale your successes with unprecedented speed and confidence. This eliminates the endless, circular debates in marketing meetings. No more "I don't know, the logo just doesn't feel right," or "I think we should use more blue." Instead, the questions become sharper, more strategic. The data shows our audience isn't engaging with our video content past the 5-second mark. How can we redesign our intros to be more compelling? Or, "This infographic template is our highest performing asset for lead generation. How can we create 5 more variations for different market segments this week?" Canva Enterprise provides a single source of truth where creative ideation and performance analytics live side by side. It takes the guesswork out of creative strategy and replaces it with a powerful, data-backed engine for growth. You're not just making things look good, you're making things that work, and you have the numbers to prove it. So you've proven what works. You've found your winning formulas, your golden templates, and your most effective visual strategies. The results are undeniable. But now comes the real enterprise challenge. How do you take that success and scale it, not just across a team of 20 in one office, but across a global organization of thousands spread across different continents, speaking different languages, and serving different markets, all while ensuring that every single asset remains perfectly on brand and legally compliant? That is the billion-dollar question. It's the challenge that keeps chief marketing officers up at night. How do you maintain the sanctity, the very DNA of your brand, when it's being handled by thousands of people across dozens of offices? The answer isn't about more rules, more brand guideline PDFs that nobody reads, or more top-down enforcement. The answer is a system. A living, breathing ecosystem that makes being on brand the easiest, most intuitive path. This is where Canva Enterprise stops being just a design tool and becomes a global brand command center. Let's start with the brand kit. In the Pro version, it's great. You have one brand kit. But in an enterprise, you don't have one brand, you have dozens of expressions of one brand. You have your US market, your European market, your Asia-Pacific market. Each might have subtle nuances. Maybe the color palette is slightly adjusted for cultural resonance, or you use a specific secondary font for a language with different characters. With Canva Enterprise, you don't just get one brand kit. You get as many as you need. Imagine your team in Germany logs in and instantly has access to the German brand kit, with the correct logos, the DIN standard fonts, and the color palette approved for that region. Your team in Japan logs in, and they have their own with assets and fonts perfectly suited for their campaigns. It's brand consistency localized at scale. The central marketing team in New York or Chicago sets the master brand, and then can create and assign these localized kits to the relevant teams. It's control and flexibility, perfectly balanced. But let's be honest, having the right colors and logos is just the first step. The real chaos happens when people start actually making things. This is where the single most powerful feature for any large American corporation comes into play: template locking. This isn't just about locking an entire design. It's surgical. Think of your most important asset, a new product announcement template for social media. As the brand guardian, you can design this template to perfection. You place the logo in the top right. You lock it. No one can move it, resize it, or God forbid, stretch it. You set the headline in your approved brand font, at the approved size. You lock it. People can change the words but not the style. You put the legal disclaimer at the bottom in 8-point font. You lock it. It cannot be deleted or altered. But here's the magic. The main image. You can leave that unlocked but restrict it so that people can only replace it with images from a specific, pre-approved folder of licensed product shots. The body text? You leave that editable so the local team in Texas can talk about y'all, and the team in California can use their own local flavor. You are creating a branded sandbox. You're giving your teams freedom to play, to create, to connect with their local audience, but within walls that you have defined. You're empowering them to be creative, not restricting them. This single feature eradicates the possibility of brand-damaging mistakes. It means the junior marketing assistant in the new satellite office can create a perfectly on-brand, legally compliant social media post on their first day, with zero training, because the template makes it impossible to do otherwise. This system extends to your entire asset library. For any large company, asset management is a nightmare. Where is the latest version of the company overview deck? Is this logo the old one or the new one? Are we even licensed to use this photo in a web ad? Canva Enterprise transforms this chaos into a single source of truth. It becomes your centralized, intelligent hub for every logo, icon, photograph, video clip, and presentation template your company owns. You can create specific folders for specific campaigns or regions. You can set permissions so the sales team only sees the sales collateral, and the social media team only sees the approved social assets. No more frantic searching through Dropbox, Google Drive, and someone's desktop folder named final_. Use this one. When someone searches for logo, they find one version, the correct one. When they search for CEO headshot, they find the approved, retouched photo, not a blurry one from a 3-year-old conference. This isn't just about convenience. It's about risk management. Using an unlicensed photo can lead to lawsuits worth tens of thousands of dollars. Canva helps make that a thing of the past. And now we have to talk about the new frontier, artificial intelligence. Every company is scrambling to figure out how to use AI. Canva Enterprise has integrated it directly into the workflow with something called Magic Write, but with a crucial enterprise-grade twist: brand voice. You can literally teach Canva's AI what your brand sounds like. You feed it your website copy, your mission statement, your best-performing ad copy. From that, it learns your tone. Is your brand witty and informal? Professional and authoritative? Inspirational and optimistic? Once it learns your voice, anyone in your organization, anywhere in the world, can use Magic Write to generate copy that sounds like it came from your core creative team. A product manager in Seattle needs to write a quick description for a new feature. They type a simple prompt, and Magic Write delivers it in the company's voice. The HR team in London needs to draft a LinkedIn post about company culture. Boom! Instantly on brand. This is how you scale not just your visual identity, but your brand's very personality across a global organization. Think of it like this. Running a global brand without a system like Canva Enterprise is like trying to conduct a symphony orchestra where every musician has a different piece of sheet music. The violinist in London is playing Beethoven, the trumpeter in Tokyo is playing jazz, and the percussionist in Dallas is just improvising. It's noise. It's chaos. It damages the brand. Canva Enterprise is the conductor's score. It provides the master framework, the key, the tempo. It hands each individual musician, each marketer, salesperson, and designer their specific part to play. It gives them the creative freedom to play their part with passion and skill, but ensures that everyone is contributing to the same beautiful, harmonious symphony. The final result is a powerful, unified brand message that resonates around the world. This system solves the age-old problem of the rogue marketer. We all know one. It's the well-intentioned salesperson who needs a flyer for a local event right now and decides to whip one up in Microsoft Word. They use the wrong font, a pixelated logo they found on Google Images, and cheesy clip art. It's not their fault. They were just trying to do their job with the tools they had. Canva Enterprise solves this by being the path of least resistance. When creating a stunning, on-brand flyer from a pre-approved template is faster and easier than fumbling with Word, that's the tool they're going to use. You're not policing them. You're empowering them. You're channeling their ambition into brand-building activities, not brand-attracting ones. So you've unified your visual identity with brand kits. You've mistake-proofed your content creation with template locking. You've organized your entire digital world with a central asset library and scaled your brand personality with AI. You've built the perfect, globally consistent brand machine. The foundation is solid, but a machine is only as good as the process for using it. How do you actually get work done inside this machine? How do you manage the endless, complex dance of drafts, feedback, comments, and approvals from multiple stakeholders across different time zones, without descending into an endless spiral of email chains and confusing Slack threads? The answer is you don't. You can't. Not with the old tools. Trying to manage that creative chaos with email, spreadsheets, and messaging apps is like trying to conduct a symphony with a broken stick. It's destined for failure. It creates a system where your most valuable, highly paid creative professionals spend half their day being project managers, hunting down feedback, and trying to decipher vague instructions from a month-old email thread. This isn't just inefficient. It's a catastrophic waste of talent and a direct drain on your company's bottom line. The solution isn't a new email rule or a better organized Slack channel. The solution is to move the entire conversation, the entire approval process, into the same place where the work is actually being created. And this is where Canva Enterprise doesn't just offer a feature. It offers a full-blown paradigm shift with its built-in approval workflows. Imagine this. Let's talk about a company we'll call Summit Peak Outfitters. They're a fast-growing American outdoor apparel brand, and they're about to launch their biggest campaign of the year, the Summer Ascent collection. The pressure is on. Millions in ad spend are on the line. Sarah, their lead designer, has just finished the hero graphic for the entire campaign. A stunning image destined for social media ads, the website homepage, and in-store displays. In the old world, the pre-Canva world, her nightmare is just beginning. She exports the file as summer_ascent_hero_1 JPG and emails it to the core team. Mark, the marketing director, Jessica, from the legal team, and David, the head of sales. Within 10 minutes, the chaos erupts. Mark hits reply all. Looks fantastic, Sarah. Just 2 quick things. Can we make our logo about 10% bigger? And let's use the secondary tagline, Conquer Your Summit, instead of the primary one. Simple enough. But then, Jessica from legal forwards the email to her paralegal, who prints the image, scribbles on it with a red pen, scans it, and emails the barely legible PDF back with the note. For Jessica, the contest disclaimer text at the bottom is below the minimum required font size, and the copy needs to be updated with the approved Q3 legal language. Meanwhile, David from sales, who hates email, sends Sarah a direct message on Slack. Hey, saw the graphic. We really need a stronger call to action to move this new inventory. Can you slap a big, bold 50% OFF select gear banner across the top right corner? Now look at the situation from Sarah's perspective. She is completely paralyzed. She has 3 streams of feedback coming from 3 different platforms. Mark's feedback conflicts with David's. A bigger logo and a new tagline will clash horribly with the giant sales banner. She has no idea what the approved Q3 legal language even is. She spends the next hour chasing down a document from Jessica. She creates a new version, summer_ascent_hero_JPG, trying to incorporate everyone's feedback. Looks like a mess. She sends it out. Mark replies, "Whoa, that sales banner is way too aggressive for a brand launch." David slacks her. "Where's the banner I asked for?" Jessica emails, "This is the wrong legal copy. I sent you the Q3 folder." They burn an entire day. An entire day of expensive, talented people's time, lost in a vortex of confusion, culminating in a file named summer_ascent_file. And nobody, not even Sarah, is confident that it's actually the right one. Now let's rewind and run this exact same scenario through Canva Enterprise. Sarah finishes her design inside her Canva project. Instead of exporting anything, she clicks the share button. But she doesn't just share a view link. She clicks Request Approval. A simple, elegant menu pops up. She can create a custom approval workflow. She sets it up. Step 1, Mark in marketing. Step 2, Jessica in legal. Step 3, David in sales. She adds a quick note, hero graphic for Summer Ascent campaign. Please provide feedback by end of day. And clicks Send. A notification instantly goes to Mark. He clicks it and opens the design directly in Canva. He's not looking at a flattened, dead JPEG. He's looking at the living, breathing design file. He sees the logo. He doesn't have to describe it. He clicks on it. A comment box appears, pinned precisely to that element. He types, "Let's bump this up by 10%. He then clicks on the tagline and pins another comment. "Swap this with the Conquer Your Summit tagline from our brand kit." He's done. He clicks Request Changes. The design is now automatically locked. Sarah can edit it, but no one else can, preventing any rogue changes. The status of the design is now clearly labeled for everyone to see. Changes requested. The ball is back in Sarah's court with zero ambiguity. She gets a notification, clicks the link, and sees Mark's comments pinned exactly where they need to be. She makes the 2 changes in under a minute, resolves the comments, and resubmits for approval. Mark gets a ping, sees the changes are perfect, and clicks Approve. The workflow is magic. It automatically sends the design to the next person in the chain. Jessica from legal. She gets a notification. She opens the exact same design link. Critically, she can see the entire history. She sees Mark's comments and his final approval. She doesn't have to waste time reevaluating marketing decisions. She focuses only on her domain. She highlights the disclaimer text and leaves her comment. Please replace with the official Q3 legal copy, which I've added to our team's Legal Assets folder for easy access. She clicks Request Changes. Sarah gets the notification, navigates to the shared team folder right inside Canva, copies the correct text, pastes it in, and resubmits. Jessica gets the ping, verifies the copy, and clicks Approve. Finally, the workflow sends it to David in sales. He opens the link. He sees a full time-stamped audit trail. Mark from marketing approved it. Jessica from legal approved it. He has total confidence that this asset is on brand and legally compliant. He looks at the beautiful, clean design and realizes that his initial impulse for a loud sales banner was wrong for this top-of-funnel brand launch. He leaves one simple comment: "This looks incredible. Ready to go." He clicks approve. And that's it. The design is now officially, unequivocally approved. It is locked down. A big green checkmark appears. Everyone on the team receives a final notification that the asset is finalized and ready for publishing. What took an entire day of chaos, confusion, and frustration in the old world was just accomplished in a few hours of clean, focused, asynchronous work in the new one. This isn't just about being neat and tidy. This is about transforming your operational efficiency. You get a single source of truth. No more digging through email attachments to find the real final version. You get bulletproof accountability. The entire history of who requested what and who signed off on it is recorded forever. This is a game changer for regulated industries or for simply understanding why a decision was made 6 months down the line. You get contextual feedback, eliminating the endless, the blue button on the left confusion. Most importantly, you give your designer Sarah her job back. She's no longer an administrative assistant, chasing down feedback. She's a designer, spending her time creating value. You've taken the single biggest bottleneck in the entire creative process and turned it into a streamlined, transparent, and almost effortless pipeline. You've minimized the risk of a costly error, like running a national ad campaign with the wrong pricing or an unapproved tagline, to near zero. So now you have this perfect, pristine, fully approved asset. It's a work of art, and it's a fortress of compliance. The entire team is aligned. But now comes the next great challenge for any modern American marketing team. This single asset doesn't just go to one place. How do you take this one approved design and deploy it, in all its various required formats and sizes across Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Google Ads, your website CMS, and your email marketing platform without one person spending a full day just downloading, resizing, and re-uploading files? The answer is you don't. You make the machine do it for you. This isn't science fiction. It's the reality of working inside Canva Enterprise. The solution to that multi-platform, multi-format nightmare has a name, and frankly, it feels like magic. It's called Magic Resize. And let me be clear, this isn't just about saving a few clicks. This is about fundamentally changing the economic equation of your marketing department. Think about that junior designer or marketing coordinator, the one whose talent is being wasted on the soul-crushing, mind-numbing task of manually cropping and resizing the same image 20 different ways. One for the Instagram story, one for the feed post, one for the Facebook banner, a different one for the LinkedIn ad, another for the email header. Each one has slightly different safe zones, different pixel dimensions, different expectations. It's a minefield of tedious, low-value work that burns out your best people and creates a massive bottleneck for every single campaign. With Magic Resize, that entire process is obliterated. With a single click, you take your master design, the core creative asset, and you select every single format you need. Instagram post, LinkedIn article header, Google display ad, medium rectangle, YouTube thumbnail, Pinterest pin. You check all the boxes. You hit one button, and in seconds, Canva generates every single version, intelligently adapting your design to fit the new dimensions. It's not just a blind crop. It understands the elements and does its best to maintain the integrity of your design across every format. It gives you a starting point for each that is 95% of the way there. A few minor tweaks, a quick check, and you're done. A task that used to consume an entire afternoon is now finished in the time it takes to refill your coffee. Now multiply that efficiency. Don't think about one image. Think about a full campaign launch. You have 20 core visuals. Each needs to be in 10 different formats. That's 200 individual files that needed to be created, named correctly, saved in the right folder, and then uploaded to the correct platform. Before Canva Enterprise, that's a full-time job for a week for one person. It's a recipe for human error, for misnamed files, for grabbing the wrong version. After Canva Enterprise, it's a 30-minute task. What could your team do with the extra 39.5 hours a week? Could they launch another campaign? Could they spend that time analyzing performance data? Could they finally get ahead of the content calendar instead of constantly chasing it? This isn't just a feature. It's a competitive advantage. It's the power to move at the speed of the market, not at the speed of manual resizing. But creating and resizing the assets is only half the battle. The other half is distribution, getting that content out into the world. In most organizations, this is another fragmented, chaotic process. The final assets get dropped into a Google Drive folder. A link is shared on Slack. The social media manager downloads them to their desktop, then logs into Hootsuite or Sprout Social or Buffer, and manually uploads each one, writing the copy, adding the tags, and scheduling it. It's a chain of custody with a dozen different points of failure. Canva Enterprise cuts that chain. It brings the final step of the process, publishing, directly into the platform where the content was born. Meet the Content Planner. This is your marketing team's new mission control. It's a unified calendar where you can see all your scheduled content across all your key social channels. You finish a design, you hit share, and instead of downloading, you select schedule. You connect your company's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest accounts directly and securely. You pick the date and time, write your caption right there, and schedule it. The post is now live in your content planner. A single source of truth for your entire team. No more confusion. No more "did this post go out yet?" questions on Slack. Everyone can see what's scheduled, what's been published, and what's coming up, all in one visual calendar. This completely transforms your workflow. Your social media manager can now live almost entirely within Canva. They can see a gap in the content calendar for next Thursday. They can click on that day, browse the team's approved templates, create a new post in minutes, get a quick approval from a manager with an in-app comment, and schedule it to go live on 3 different platforms without ever leaving their browser tab. The friction is gone. The context switching that kills productivity is eliminated. It's a seamless flow from creation to publication, and this ecosystem extends far beyond just social media. This is where the enterprise part really comes into its own. Canva integrates with the tools your American business already runs on. This is not about ripping and replacing your entire tech stack. It's about becoming the central hub that connects it all. You can connect your Google Drive or Dropbox accounts, allowing your team to pull in brand assets or user-generated content directly into their Canva designs. No more downloading and re-uploading. You can connect to DAMs like Binder or Brand Folder, ensuring that every design uses the single, approved, most up-to-date version of any company asset. The integrations are the bridges that connect Canva to the rest of your operational world. Let's paint a picture of a real-world campaign launch. Let's call it the before Canva scenario. The marketing director emails a creative brief in a Word doc to the senior designer. The designer creates a concept in Adobe Illustrator, exports a PNG, and slacks it to the director for feedback. The director replies in Slack with a few notes. The copywriter emails a Google Doc with headline options. The designer updates the creative, exports a new version, and drops it into a shared folder called Campaign Launch Finals. The social media manager, seeing a Slack message, goes to that folder, but sees 2 other folders named Campaign Launch Final V2 and Campaign Launch Really Final. They guess which one is correct, download the assets, log into their scheduling tool, and start uploading. 10 minutes later, the designer slacks them. "Wait, use the other folder. I just made a small tweak to the logo placement. The damage is already done." It's a mess of crossed wires, wasted time, and brand risk. Now let's look at the after Canva Enterprise scenario. The marketing director opens a Canva doc, which combines text editing with visual design. They write the brief and embed a mood board of approved brand assets directly from the brand kit. They tag the designer and copywriter in the comments. The designer clicks on the brief, opens a linked brand template, and creates the master visual right there. The copywriter adds headline options directly onto the design as comments. The director reviews it, leaves a final approval comment which resolves the task, and tags the social media manager. The social media manager gets a notification. They open the approved design, click Magic Resize to generate versions for all 6 of their social channels, and then uses the content planner to schedule each one out over the next week. The entire process happens in one place. It's transparent. It's version controlled. It's fast. It's secure. It's not a fantasy. It's how thousands of the most efficient marketing teams in America now operate. This is what it means to collapse the stack. You're not just buying a design tool. You're buying a unified workflow. You're eliminating the need for a separate scheduling tool, for endless cloud storage folders for final assets, for the constant back and forth on Slack and email. You're centralizing your team's most critical function, creating and distributing marketing content, into a single, elegant, and powerful platform. The time and money saved on redundant software subscriptions alone can be substantial, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real value is in the reclaimed hours, the accelerated speed to market, and the creative energy that is now focused on strategy and innovation, not on administrative busywork. So the workflow is a well-oiled machine. Your team is faster, more creative, and less stressed. The entire process from ideation to distribution is unified. But this raises the biggest question of all for any American enterprise. How do you measure the ROI on a platform like this? How do you justify the investment to your CFO? And what happens when you need to scale this not just to one team, but to hundreds or even thousands of employees across the entire organization? Let's break that down, because this is where the conversation shifts from nice to have to mission critical. The justification for Canva Enterprise isn't found in a single line item. It's a holistic business case built on 3 pillars: radical efficiency gains, significant cost consolidation, and impenetrable brand governance. First, let's talk about the most valuable non-renewable resource any company has: time. Think about the hidden time sinks in your organization right now. A salesperson needs a single slide updated in a pitch deck for a major client. What's the process? They email marketing. Marketing is swamped, so it goes into a queue. The designer gets to it a day later, makes the change, sends it back. The salesperson has a follow-up tweak. Another email. Another delay. That entire cycle might take 48 hours for a 5-minute change. Now multiply that by every salesperson every day across the entire country. You're not just losing hours, you're losing momentum. You're slowing down the speed of your business, and that has a tangible cost. With Canva Enterprise, that salesperson goes to a locked-on brand template. They change the client's name, update a single statistic from a pre-approved library of assets, and export it. The entire process takes 90 seconds. The ROI here is measured in recovered hours, faster sales cycles, and increased agility. You're giving your revenue-generating teams the power to move at the speed of the market, not the speed of an internal ticketing system. Second, cost consolidation. Go ask your finance or IT department for a list of all the software subscriptions floating around your company. You'll find a dozen different tools for stock photos, a few for video editing, another for background removal, a separate one for creating PDFs, and maybe even a few rogue design software licenses on a procurement card somewhere. Each of these has a cost, a separate login, a different learning curve, and zero integration with your core brand assets. Canva Enterprise consolidates all of this. Your stock photo subscription? Gone. Canva has millions of premium assets. Your simple video editing tool? Gone. Canva's video suite can handle it. That niche tool for creating social media graphics? Obsolete. You're not just buying a design platform. You're buying a visual communication suite that can potentially eliminate 5, 10, even 15 other recurring software costs. The justification to your CFO is simple. We're replacing a fragmented, expensive, and inefficient tech stack with a single secure platform that does more for less. It's addition by subtraction. The third pillar is brand governance, and this one is a bit harder to quantify but infinitely more valuable. What is the cost of a single off-brand piece of collateral going out to $1 million client? What is the cost of a sales team in California using a logo from 3 years ago, while the team in New York uses the correct one? This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about brand equity, trust, and professionalism. Inconsistency erodes trust. Canva Enterprise solves this at its core. With brand kits, lock templates, and approval workflows, you're not just hoping people use the right assets. You are architecting a system where it's virtually impossible for them to use the wrong ones. This is risk mitigation. You're protecting your most valuable asset, your brand, from the death by 1,000 cuts that happens in large, distributed organizations. The ROI is measured in brand consistency, which translates directly to brand trust, and ultimately, customer loyalty and lifetime value. Now let's address the scaling question. How do you go from a 50-person marketing team to a 5,000-person global enterprise? This is where Canva Enterprise truly separates itself from any pro-level or small team tool. It's built on an enterprise-grade security and administration foundation. For your IT department, this is non-negotiable. We're talking about features like single sign-on or SSO. This means your employees can log in using their existing company credentials, which is not just convenient, it's a massive security win. It allows your IT team to manage access centrally. When an employee joins, they're automatically provisioned an account. When they leave, their access is automatically revoked. There are no stray, forgotten accounts with access to your proprietary brand assets. Then you have advanced team and user management. You can create granular permissions. the design team has full creative control. The sales team can only edit text and images within locked templates. The HR team has access to a specific set of templates for internal communications and onboarding. The legal team can set up approval workflows, so any public-facing document has to get their sign-off before it can be downloaded. This is not just a tool. It's an operating system for your brand. You can structure it to mirror your actual organizational chart, ensuring the right people have the right level of access to the right assets at the right time. And for the C-suite, Canva Enterprise offers the security assurances they demand. We're talking about things like SOC 2 Type 2 compliance, which is a rigorous third-party audit of a company's security, availability, and confidentiality controls. This isn't just a checkbox. It's proof that the platform is built to handle the sensitive data and intellectual property of the world's largest companies. When you're rolling out a tool to thousands of employees, this level of security and administrative control isn't a feature. It's the entire foundation upon which the decision rests. So what does this all mean when you put it together? It means you're fundamentally changing the way your company communicates, both internally and externally. You're moving away from a centralized, bottlenecked model of creation, where a small group of creatives serves the entire organization. That model is slow, expensive, and doesn't scale. Instead, you're moving to a distributed, empowered model. You're democratizing creativity, but within a secure, brand-controlled ecosystem. Imagine your HR team needing to create a compelling welcome to the team presentation for new hires. Before, they'd use a dated PowerPoint template or file a ticket with marketing. Now they have access to a beautiful, on-brand, video-enabled template they can customize in minutes. Imagine your social media manager needing to respond to a trending topic in real time. Before, they'd have to wait for a designer. Now they can spin up a perfectly branded graphic or short video in under 5 minutes and capture the moment. This is a cultural shift. It's about empowering every single employee to be a brand storyteller. It's about fostering a culture of visual communication, which is the language of modern business. You're not just giving them a tool. You're giving them the ability to execute their ideas faster and more professionally than ever before. You're removing friction from the system. And when you remove friction, you unlock speed, you unlock innovation, and you unlock growth. We've spent this entire series diving deep into the features, the workflows, and the power of Canva Enterprise. We've seen how it can transform everything from a simple social media post to a complex, multi-page proposal. But in the end, it all comes back to a simple, powerful idea: enabling your entire organization to communicate visually, at scale, without compromising your brand. The old way of working with siloed tools, endless email chains, brand policing, and creative bottlenecks is no longer sustainable in a world that demands speed and agility. Companies that cling to that model will find themselves outmaneuvered by competitors who have embraced a more integrated, efficient, and empowering approach. The future of work is collaborative, visual, and fast. And the platforms that enable that future are the ones that will define the next generation of successful American companies. So, when you think about the investment, don't just think about the cost of the software. Think about the cost of inaction. Think about the hours wasted, the opportunities missed, the brand dilution, and the creative potential sitting untapped within your teams. The real question isn't whether your organization can afford to adopt a platform that solves these fundamental challenges. The real question, as we look toward the future, is whether you can possibly afford not to.